All right, let's talk about pivoting. If you've ever spent hours wrestling with a tricky pivot in some complex network, you know the feeling, the sheer frustration. Well, today, we're going to turn all that frustration into a really clear, repeatable process. The goal? You never get stuck like that again. So let's just dive right in.
So, does this sound familiar? You're sitting there, staring at the screen, and you think to yourself, why on earth does the browser work, but literally nothing else does? Ugh, that's the exact moment, right? Your confidence just plummets. Your web browser is happy, it's connecting just fine, but every single one of your other tools, nope, hitting a total brick wall. And that one question, that one little moment of confusion, is where so many wasted hours begin.
Okay, and this is the core mental shift we need to make today. For real. We have to stop treating our pivot tools like they're fandoms. Arguing about which one is the best or has the coolest name. It's not about that. We need to start treating them like plumbing. It's just pipes. It's all about picking the right pipe for the job you're doing. The best tool? It's simply the one that fits the kind of traffic you're trying to push and the rules of the network you're in. That's it. Period.
All right, Section 1, the pivoting nightmare. And let's be honest, it really can feel like that sometimes. It can be this chaotic, unpredictable mess where you feel like you're just getting lucky instead of using actual skill. But you know what? It really doesn't have to be that way. Setting up the tunnel itself, that's usually not the hard part. The real pain, the thing that costs you, is that silent killer. It's that phantom bug, usually some stupid DNS issue that just sits there not telling you what's wrong. And you're left questioning everything, your skills, your tools, maybe even your career choices, all while that clock is just ticking away.
So how do we fix this? How do we escape the nightmare? Well, it all starts by asking the right question. See, the secret isn't about the tool you pick. It's all about understanding the traffic you're trying to move. And here is the fundamental problem, the big disconnect. On one hand, you've got web traffic. HTTP, HTTPS, it's pretty chill, it's tolerant, it's designed to handle detours like proxies, it just works. But then, on the other hand, you have Active Directory traffic. SMB, LDAP, RPC. This stuff is needy. It expects to be on a native network. It wants clean name resolution. It needs to talk on multiple ports. And that mismatch right there is exactly why your browser works and all your other cool tools just fail miserably.
Okay, so once you get that difference in traffic types, it naturally leads us to three main approaches for pivoting. And yeah, let's stick with that plumbing analogy. Think of these as three different specialized tools in your kit.
First up, we've got the TUN, or tunnel approach. Think of something like Ligolo-NG. What this does is basically create a virtual network adapter on your machine. It's like it tricks your computer into thinking it has a cable plugged directly into the target network. And the magic here is that all those tools that have no idea what a proxy is, they suddenly just start working, because to them, the network feels completely real.
Next up is the SOX proxy, using tools like Chisel. Now, this is more like an application-level detour. It's super fast, it's really clean, but, and this is a big but, it only works for apps that are built to use a proxy. Things like your web browser or Burp Suite. For them, it's the perfect fast lane.
And finally, there's the transparent proxy. Think SSIDle. This approach is kind of the just make it work option. It tries to grab all your traffic and redirect it automatically, without you having to go in and configure every single application. It can be an amazing middle ground that saves a lot of hassle, when it works. But be careful, because it's making a lot of assumptions about your traffic, especially with things like DNS. All right, so you've got the three main approaches. Now let's turn that knowledge into something you can actually use. A fast, effective decision you can make in like 90 seconds, even when you're under pressure.
Here it is, your decision matrix. It's really this simple. Ask yourself, is my target environment heavy on Active Directory stuff? SMB, RDP, that kind of thing? If yes, your default choice should be a TUN. You need that native network feel, okay. What if it's mostly web apps and APIs? Easy. SOX is your fast lane. Go with that. And finally, what if you're dealing with really strict egress rules, like only port 80 or 443 is open? Well, then your choice is made for you. You use whatever tool can talk over that allowed port. Remember, reliability will always beat elegance.
Okay, choosing the right tool, that's half the battle. But the other half, and this is the part people always forget, is actually validating that your pivot is working the way you think it is. You can't just hope, you have to prove it.
See, a successful pivot isn't just about getting a single connection to work. It's about building a stable, reliable system. And to know that you have one, you have to confirm three things, three non-negotiable proofs, every single time.
So here they are, the 3 proofs. Number 1, reachability. Simple enough. Can you actually ping or connect to the target's IP address? Okay, check. Number 2, name resolution. Can you resolve internal host names using the target's own DNS servers? This is the silent deal breaker right here. And number 3, service behavior. Does the actual protocol you want to use work? I don't mean just seeing an open port. I mean, can you actually list files on that SMB share? Can you get a login prompt from RDP?
Seriously, I want you to burn this into your brain. Just because it connects does not mean my tool works through it. A successful connection proves one thing and one thing only, that a TCP connection was made. It tells you absolutely nothing about whether your other, more complex tools will actually function. This is without a doubt the single biggest trap people fall into.
So, how do you actually put all this into practice without having to come back and rewatch this whole thing every time you're stuck? Simple. You build a powerful little tool for your future self.
I want you to make a simple one-page cheat sheet for yourself. That's it. On it, list your top 5 tools, Nmap, Impacket, whatever you use all the time. Next to each one, just write down, is this thing proxy aware? Yes, no, or maybe, kinda. Then, at the bottom, write down your default pivot choice for web-heavy jobs and your default choice for AD-heavy jobs. This isn't some huge research project. It's a 60-second decision aid that you can glance at when you're tired and under pressure and just need the right answer fast.
So, the next time you find yourself staring at that screen, asking that same old question, why does the browser work and nothing else does? I want you to ask a different question. Instead of blaming the tool, ask yourself, are you blaming your validation process? It's about the process, not just the tool. Trust the process.